Buongiorno, I'm Davide Vaccarini, reporting from ARVI headquarters in Milano. We have the pleasure to have with us today Marié-Hélène Dussech, marketing and director for one of the leading chateaux in Bordeaux, Brane-Cantenac. Marié-Hélène, thank you very much for being with us today. It's your first time in ARVI.
It is, very first time. Very pleased to be with you and to discover your offices in Milano.
Thank you. Listen, Marie, how you describe the identity of Brane-Cantenac?
The reputation of Brane-Cantenac has been going on for years and years. There's been vines in Brane-Cantenac for more than 200 years. I think the main three reasons why the reputation of Brane-Cantenac has been so important is based on, first of all, the aromatic expression of the wine. Mm-hmm. It has something which is very peculiar. It's the complexity of the nose. And secondly, the texture of the wine also, which is extremely silky, velvety, something which is often said in Margaux, but even young with Brane-Cantenac, there's something very special on the texture, very round and supple and very charming. And also, and last but not least, is the extraordinary aging potential that Brane-Cantenac has, even in challenging vintages such as 97 or 2007, 2004. These kind of vintages where most of wines have difficulties in aging for a long time. Brane is always very consistent and persistent and shows for years and years extraordinary aromas and perfumes and concentration.
Good.
So I think mainly those three reasons why it show the identities of
very Margaux style.
It's very Margaux style. Some people say that it's maybe the more Pauillac of the Margaux.
All right.
We don't always know how to take it, but we think that they want to say that Brane has also a very important structure. It is there's a lot of purity, there's a lot of freshness in the wine, a lot of velvety, which is Margaux style, but it also has a solid structure. And I think over the last 15 years, the increase in the quality of the wine was based on that structure, which is more and more precise, with a lot of refinement on the tannins, and the complexity of the tannins as well.
So, Marié-Hélène, can you tell us a little bit more about Margaux de Brane?
Sure. This is our new baby, Margaux de Brane. We've always done a third blend at Brane-Cantenac, but it's only recently that we've changed a little bit the philosophy of this third blend, and we wanted to take a special care to our young vines.
All right.
Which needs special care in the vinifications as well, to make sure that we explore the quality of the young vines in a different ways than the others. So it is a blend of young vines. Most of the time is 50 Cabernet Sauvignon, 50 Merlot. It's a wine which we want to be extremely well balanced. Reachable when young, which expresses very well the Margaux appellation. So it has the smooth attack, very round, very supple, very delicate, but also it's a wine which can age. The 14 that you have now is perfect to be drunk now, but there is potential to age like maybe 5, 6, 7 years without any problem. But the idea is to have it young when he has when it shows the freshness of the fruit,
Fresh expression.
the fresh expression, you want it again and again because it's really easy and it doesn't hurt you, and it's also good for young people.
Yes.
They want to
First approach.
Yeah, it's a first approach. They want to know a little bit about the cru classé, but it's maybe too early to go straight to Brane-Cantenac. So it's a good step in the property to understand what we do and the type of wine that we are making, because Margaux de Brane has the signature of Brane. Even if it is a blend of young vines, it has our signature.
So I know that Château Brane-Cantenac is into organic production from a while now. What is the benefit, or can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yes, so organic is a point which is very close to our heart. I think there is a lot of misconception about organic wines.
Yes.
That organic wines has nothing to do with winemaking. It has to do with wine growing in the vineyard.
Sure.
So we are conducting 18 hectares under organic viticulture and 4 hectares under biodynamic.
Biodynamic as well.
So, and our manager of vineyard, who is Pierre, knows very well about the subject because he used to run a property in Corsica, which was 100% biodynamic. So he knows pretty well the subject. There are 2 main reasons and 2 benefits of using organic measures. First is a health choice. We want to make sure that people who work on our vineyard is not exposed to any kind of disease or dangerous products. So this is one main reason. And the second is, of course, an environmental choice. And Henri Lurton has the philosophy of being ecological for years. When he took over from his father in 1992, he was already at the time very concerned about the environment. He created a wastewater treatment plant, which was pretty new at the time.
Yes.
No one was doing it. When he built a new cellar, he made sure that the building was totally neutral, with noble materials such as wood, and he started to give to the vineyard the right measures, meaning that he had the philosophy of taking care of the vines and make sure that the people who work for him was not exposed to dangerous products. So this is not something new at Brane. It's something which we've done for years and years. And to summarize, yes, I think there is an ecosystem which we want to protect, and the human being is part of this huge ecosystem.
So, Marié-Hélène, Carmenere was always in the history of Bordeaux, and then disappear from the region, and in the recent years you start to use it again. Why was all that?
Yeah, Carmenere is a difficult varietal to grow. Okay. It needs a lot of drought and sunshine very late in the season. So the reason why Bordeaux gave up it was because it was too complicated, and very rarely it reached the right maturation.
Okay.
But recently we all observe changes in climate.
Absolutely.
So Henri said, well, why not giving a try and see how it reacts? So he decided 10 years ago, it was in 2006, 11 years ago, to plant some Carmenere on our part, which is our part of our best origins on the plateau. It's only 40 acres, which is a very small area. But it's very successful, and as long as we manage to have an Indian summer. So we need to go over maturation to harvest Carmenère. Also, otherwise it has that green note, which we don't really like.
Absolutely.
For the rest of our vineyard, we like to harvest when we have the freshness of the fruit, which is for us very important. But with Carmenère, it's necessary to go over maturation. So very often we harvest Carmenère at the end of October. And in 2011, it was extremely successful. It was also in 15, in 16, then he adds some spicy notes, a good color. It's only 1% of the blend, so of course it's very difficult to prove what Carmenère adds to the complexity, but it surely adds something to the complexity of the wine. And the idea at the moment is more from an experimental point of view.
Yes.
But for the next generations, and Henri Lurton has 4 children, so he thinks forward always. We know how to plant more Carmenère if we have to do it, and it may become an interesting second varietal. It will never exceed Cabernet Sauvignon and neither Merlot. But it may add something really interesting in the blend.
Marié-Hélène, thank you very much for coming to visit us, and it was a pleasure to have you here in ARVI. I shall see you next Imprimer campaign.
I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. Arrivederci.